Hey everyone, just wanted to come on here real quick and talk a little bit about what happened to Savage Studios a few days ago. I'm not going to be dragging him because I don't want to disrespect the deceased, however, I am going to be honest. In this video, I will be going over facts that are available at this time, however, this is an open investigation at this point, so there's a limited amount of information that is accessible to the public. Following me going over the facts of the case, at the end of the video, I will be stating my opinions regarding the situation. As many of you already know, on Friday, August 19th, 2022, at about 4:30 p.m., Steven Seagal, aka Savage Studios, was shot multiple times and killed in front of the Smoking Gun Tattoo Shop in Yucca Valley, California. After the shooting occurred, witnesses called 911, law enforcement arrived, and Savage was pronounced dead at the scene. While all of this was happening, law enforcement was closing in on the surrounding area to catch the alleged murder suspect. While doing their area check, deputies located a red Dodge Durango that was later discovered to be stolen out of San Bernardino. Then deputies did a felony traffic stop and arrested the alleged murder suspect, Manuel Antonio Robledo, without incident. Robledo was then taken into custody and booked into the Central Detention Center and is now being housed at West Valley Detention Center, where he remains in custody and is currently being held with no bail, and is due to be seen before a judge on August 23rd, 2022. That about wraps up the facts regarding the case. The murder suspect is due to see the judge today. If he is seen and there are change in details, I will probably be making another video and updating you all. Now I wanted to move on to what people have been saying on the internet, speculation regarding what happened, and my opinions. Another important part to this whole situation was that Savage was advertising that he would be renting a booth at this tattoo shop on his TikTok and his Facebook. There has been a whole lot stated about Savage's death, and this is where I'm going to get honest. A lot of people didn't like him. He would call people out almost all the time. He would kind of cycle. He would go through, being toxic and calling people out and telling them to roll up, and then, go through, hey, I got to do better, I'm going to be positive, etc., etc. I've also seen people saying stuff like, Savage didn't care, he was just a savage, and that he was about that life. Well, I can remember Savage telling people to roll up to his house, and then when they did, this one particular time, he called the police. So what that tells me is that he was very comfortable in thinking that he would keep going on like this and that no one would ever harm him. And make no mistake, Savage did tell people to roll up to his home, even dropping his address. I can't even count how many times I have seen him do this in live streams and in comment threads. Because he was confronted about calling the police on those guys that rolled up to his house. And he, clapped back with, you guys are going to roll up here. My baby mama's here. My child's here. But I'm not sure if he was drinking, didn't remember or what. But he had told people to come to his home a number of times. There's been a lot of speculation online as to who ended Savage's life. There has been talk about a certain organization that I'm not going to name here. And there's also been talk about, was it somebody local that, he had just been in an argument with, or was it somebody from online that he had a beef with? Now I wanted to play you guys a clip from a channel called the Rojo Room, where a guy named Rojo and Gunnerz Collective share their opinions regarding the situation. I'm positive that most of you know who these guys are, but for those of you that don't know, I just wanted to play this clip.
The individual that got arrested in connection with this demise was going at it back and forth with him. On which platform was it, Gunner? Instagram?
I believe it was Instagram or TikTok, I'm not too sure.
And a lot of things were said on both sides. Apparently, this has been an ongoing feud for quite some time because, I don't know, it was months ago, maybe a year ago, Savage already extended the invitation of this dude to pull up and he'd see him in a one-on-one fade. That was Savage's thing, challenge people to one-on-one fade. Not everybody fights like that. Some people fight different. Time goes by, and just how long ago was it, Gunner? No, a week, 4 days, 5 days ago?
Yeah.
He gets into another thing with this individual and really says some outlandish stuff. Basically, F your hood, F your dead homies. This is where I'm at. Pull up. You ain't shit. And worse. You know what I'm saying? So this dude has nothing to do with the gang. He might be associated with some kind of group or nothing, but this isn't no kind of hit, bro. Let's not people get it twisted. This is just too much disrespect to the same individual, and the individual said, all right, I'll be there in 45 minutes.
Exactly. And again, we must reiterate, bro, we must put out there, everything is allegedly. Just because this individual that they've apprehended, this Manuel Robledo, Doesn't mean he's guilty of this. Doesn't mean he's the actual shooter. Doesn't mean he could have been just a guy in the area that they assumed. You know, like I said, at no point in time are we here to assist administration or the K9 or anyone in their investigation. That's their job. It's cops, it's robbers. We're considered robbers, they're cops, right? So whatever active investigation they have that led into apprehending this guy and thinking that he's the one, hey, one never knows does one. All I can say is there was an individual, similar name, similar looks, that actually had, some words back and forth with Savage. Now, it was never no, I'll kill you. There was never no threats of harm or danger other than Savage, who tended to say, pull up, let's fade, let's fade. Anyone knows who's in the game, fade means a one-on-one, which a man can walk away from. You know, a man, well, I mean, some got the deadly hands. You ain't walking away from shit, right? But he did. I highly doubt he had those hands. Savage, I'm speaking on, right? Like that. So that was his thing. Pull up, and pop. Fade, let's fade, let's fade. And some individual decided that for no other reason to pull up and test his abilities. And it went south, literally, right? And, ultimately, man, we know how it ended up. You know, Savage got his life taken. You know, but as far as looking back, me and Rojo thinking about it and conversating with several other individuals in the game, I'll tell you right now, this was not a planned, orchestrated hit. Anyone who's been in the game, no one's going to make that sacrifice to do it in broad daylight. It's not going to be done like that. This is not an example set. This seems a little bit more personal to me on the outside looking in. It's anyone that goes and does something in broad daylight with no regards for themselves or any other human life, it's personal. It's personal, you know what I mean? If it's an organized hit, I've been part of things in my past. Rojo, you all know what time it is. This would never be something that we would sanction to do it in this fashion. Unless there was a specific example we made, and I'm going to tell you right now, man. Savage Studios, as much as he liked to talk and speak, he wasn't to be made an example of like that. There's bigger and worse things out there that people have to deal with. You know what I mean? So I think it was just a personal thing. Words were being said, and ultimately one guy has to win and one guy doesn't. But
At the end of the day, it is sad either way you look at it. Even if you didn't like Savage, he still is loved by his family. He has a little boy that's not going to have a father now. He has parents, he has siblings, a girlfriend or whatever, that are now without their loved one. And that just sucks any way you look at it. I will say this for Savage, though. Whether you loved him or hated him, he did have a certain energy that got you watching him. I know that him and Brittany, his ex, his baby mama, they tried to do like a family vlogging channel on their Savage Family channel, and people were loving it. People were watching it. That's not my kind of thing. I hate those scripted fake pranks and all that weird shit. But he was trying to do something positive and ended up not working out. But he did have something about him that people wanted to listen and people wanted to watch, whether it was a drama shit show or something positive. Anyways, that's all I have to say about this today. However, like I said, when there's updates in the case, I'll make a video about that, most likely. And anyways, my condolences to Savage's mother and siblings and loved ones and relatives. I'm really sorry this happened. Anyhow, hope you guys liked the video. Love y'all.